Here's your report.
Thanks, Jane. I wish I could hire a whole team of yous.
Try posting a job on LinkedIn. It's the world's largest professional network. Unlike resumes, LinkedIn gives a real-time view into a candidate's skills, experiences, and more.
Huh, let's do it. You're irreplaceable, Jane, but another you would be great.
Find your perfect match with LinkedIn. Post your free job at linkedin.com/achieve. That's linkedin.com/achieve. Terms and conditions apply.
Don't you love it when things are both easier and more affordable? Like when the rain washes your car for you. Or like when you save up to 10% by bundling your renters and auto insurance with USAA. Bundle with USAA and start saving. Get a quote today.
Now streaming on Peacock.
By all that's holy, Bridget Jones.
Hello, old friend.
Bridget Jones is back
We are about to embark on an adventure.
for one final chapter.
Anything else I can help with?
Yes.
Experience every moment
Do you think about what might have been?
and fall in love
To Bridget.
all over again.
It's time to live.
Bridget Jones, Mad About the Boy. Streaming now only on Peacock.
Every cup of Nespresso coffee is an invitation to transform your morning routine into a ritual you can treasure each and every day. Using the Virtuo Pop, a simple touch of the button freshly brews bold aromas and a rich, velvety crema layer for delicious cafe-quality coffee at home. Whether you enjoy your coffee hot or over ice, every sip, every morning is unforgettable. Nothing tastes like Nespresso coffee. Visit Nespresso.com or our app to explore our full range of easy-to-use machines and coffees not found anywhere else.
I knew it. Another Herdat Media production.
Hi, Chantel.
Hey, Rexian.
Happy Thursday.
Happy snow day.
It is a snow day, you guys. Us Midwesterns, wait, is it Midwesterns?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, yeah. Because I can't, you guys. I can't. My kids don't have school today. So I remember, by the way, back in the day, if we had too many snow days, they would extend the school year. Now they hand out snow days in the state of Michigan. And I was talking to one of my friends who's, I think, in Minnesota, and she was saying, even though it snows, they don't have snow days. Ours hands out now a certain amount of snow days, and they're like, hey, you can do all these snow days. I mean, today is pretty bad though.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think what they do is because especially in Michigan, our schools get out later. So it's June 19th, and a lot of people get out June 2nd. And so what they do
mine don't get out in June 19th. Mine get out.
I know private schools sometimes get out earlier. But let's say you're in public school, and a lot of times they'll just sit there and take they'll give every school 9 days, to have a snow day. So to them, they already calculated it, so they're why not take it?
But they don't do that. They didn't do that before. They didn't give them an X amount of days. They would just and when they did, it was super minor. They would just add it at the end of the year to make it even longer, even though we already ended school in June, late in June. So I don't know. It's just not fun. And I woke up in the morning and I went and I worked out. So I still worked out despite this. I will say, though, it was bad outside. I don't know where the snow plowers were. I don't get it, just because it was called that there was a snow day at 3 p.m. yesterday. I don't know where the hell they were, because if you guys all knew that, what was happening this morning?
No, I think it was just a lot of snow. So they do multiple pushes and things like that. So by my area, it was snow.
Yeah. Mine, it wasn't too crazy on the road, but it was slippery. And so I don't know, when I came back from my workout, still I'm where are they? In my city, our taxes are so high. So I'm where the hell are these snowplowers? I'm so confused here. So I mean,
your city too has their own trucking system too, which is funny because
I didn't know that.
Yeah, where they don't wait for your county to come do it. So they're pretty. Your city's pretty good about it.
Well, so I mean, today they weren't at all. So I'm excuse me.
Grace. Give them grace. There's a lot going on.
No, I'm on 10. I mean, I was up
you know what you should be doing is making your snow days fun for your kids. We used to love having snow days. So think of it.
You know what's so funny that you say that? First off, I was up at 6 a.m. and then after I came at 7 and there was no difference. They are very on top of these things. So it's very weird. All the other, I passed by Novi, I passed by West Bloomfield. Those were cleared. But anyways, Charlie came up to me last night and she's like, Mom, why don't you like snow days? I heard you say you hate snow days. And I was like, Charlie, because mommy still has to work. Mommy doesn't get snow days from work. And I was like, I still have to work and figure it out. So it's like, yeah, I mean, I can try to make it fun, but I also work a 9 to 5. So I also can't, So it sucks. But maybe I'll call my mom later and be like, can I drop them for like an hour and a half?
Yeah, let them go outside, let them play. This is like the time where it's like fun snow, where it's like fluffy.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not able to watch them do that right now, but thank you. Anyways, so Chantel is going to hang out with Teresa next week, literally in 7 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's gonna make some content as well. That's gonna be fun because you guys, I'm going on vacation for the 100th time.
Okay, we don't care. Thank you. On to the next.
I know. I our listeners were commenting. They were like, "How many times is Roxanne going to say she's going on vacation?" But so Chantel is going to be going to an event, like VIP with Teresa, not with like for Teresa. So that'll be interesting. I think they're gonna like do like a fun video together. So,
like everyone that's going to this event is considered VIP. You keep throwing this VIP around, and I'm like, what VIP? And like the whole thing says VIP on there.
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
but it is exclusive. Like,
I don't know what you're talking about. We know, like, you'll be talking and stuff like that. So
no, I know, but I'm like, what is VIP here? And then like the whole thing is VIP.
I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know exactly the details about it. So, I mean, another thing I wanted to talk about before we talked Beverly Hills and Summer House, which I'm super excited about Summer House. And Beverly Hills was actually pretty good too. One of our listeners sent us this and they were like, I just want you to know because you always talk about this. And it was a card section. Obviously, Valentine's Day is coming up. And those card sections you go to at Target, Walmart, Dollar Tree, where it says, for your daughter, for your mother, for your grandmother, for your wife, those, the cards. It said, for your work wife, for your work husband. I want to find out who was carrying that because I don't think that shit's funny.
Wait, who was carrying this?
I don't know who it was. It was just like a picture of it in the card section. And I didn't, maybe I could go back and look at the responses to see if anyone knows which company is doing that. But I'm like, that's like such ugly, trashy, tacky ass behavior.
Oh yeah. I would not like that. I don't know why they would think that's funny.
It's not funny at all. I mean, it's Valentine's Day. I dare my husband to ever give someone a card, even if it's funny. Like, no.
Yeah, like even if you claim those, like, oh, I have a work husband, work wife, like definitely not. Like that card is like sacred. No.
You guys, I've told you guys, I was a very sheltered little baby. I've seen things. Okay. So that shit's not funny to me. And yeah, that's a no. And I just thought that, and I immediately got the ick.
Well, real quick, before we get even into Beverly Hills, like, do you want to talk about Teddy's and what Teddy put on her Instagram?
Yeah, it's super, super sad.
No, that is really sad. And I think it's just very scary.
I feel like she's been through it and she had to shave her head, but I feel like she has been through it because remember in 2023, she also had something and a cancer, like I think it was skin cancer. So that's just, I feel like she's a very strong person, but man, I feel really, really bad. So she revealed that she had multiple tumors that had been found in her brain following weeks of intense headaches. So you guys get checked, My dad found a tumor in his head and he would have these like random, I don't know, panic attacks. Like his whole face would turn red. And again, like we're Chaldean, he's like, what is this? Like he doesn't get what a panic attack is. I'm like, you need to speak to a therapist. He's like, I'm not speaking to a therapist. I'm like, you need to. And so then we found out that, he had these tumors. And like ever since he did get surgery in his head, I feel he's the same, but like, I don't know. I mean, no one wants to, you guys, my cousin works at a hospital and I'm sorry, Chantal, but my cousin works at a hospital and she's seen things and she is the person that helps like during the surgeries. And she's like, people go really fast. Like it's all about being at the next one. You think that, you think that your doctor's performing. She's like, it's typically the residents. She's always like, no matter what, if you can, stay away from hospitals. She has scarred me from stories, scarred me. So I don't know if she hasn't told me like people or anything, and you don't know who it is, but I don't know. So I obviously feel very, very horrible. She is, by the way, documenting, throughout it. And if we on allaboutterrh.com, we put, the videos and the photos of her shaving her head and all that. But apparently, I think it was yesterday, 2 of the tumors were surgically removed. And then the remaining
some of them are going to be surgically removed.
Yeah. And the smaller ones will be dealt with radiation at a later date.
Oh,
so scary. Life is short, you guys. Life is short.
And I think it sucks because it's like you don't even have your one person that maybe you thought you were going to have like a year ago, to support you in this. Like, I just think she's going through it. So we definitely have to pray for her.
Absolutely. One of our listeners, by the way, they said something to us and they're like, hey, when you talk about TikTok videos, can you start putting links to things? Because we want to, because how I go off tangents on like random TikToks that I see. And I was like, that's actually a good idea. And I will do that. But I just wanted to talk about one TikTok that I saw that had me hyperventilating last night. And Chantel's going to beat my ass. But because, Chantel's all about like, la, 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 ignorance is bliss, and I feel like you're a lot happier, Chantel, too.
Exactly. So let's follow my lead. You don't need to know who wants to hear bad news every day, multiple times a day? It's not healthy for you.
Well, so it was a woman who was like probably in her 70s, 80s, and she went to the hospital and, or the doctors, and found out that she had cancer. She has been caring for her, grown Down syndrome son. And when her husband died 2 years ago, when I think her son was probably like in his 40s or something. So when oh my God, I'm just thinking about this. When she went home, she shot him and killed herself.
Oh my gosh.
But like, what's crazy? Because I know it's such a sin. Like, I totally understood it.
Oh, I can't even go there. I can't even wrap my head around it.
Because at the end of the day, these like people who have Down syndrome, just from, cousins that we have, or just cousins of our cousins, they depend so much. They're so pure. They're so innocent. And they depend so much on their parent. And they don't understand, like, even if like she was to die or go through that and she was too weak to care, they don't get it. Like, even if their mom was to die and they were to go to a home, every day they're going to be saying, where's my mom? And it's like, I was just kind of like, I was just like praying for God to forgive that whole situation. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
guys.
you really this is why she pisses me off. Like, who watches these things all day?
It's not like it was on my For You page. Like, what do you want me to do? I don't.
On to the next. Like, you don't like. Let's change your For You page. Look at your For You page. Look what's on. Bad news.
I know. It was just really sad news, like heartbreaking
news.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go to the next subject before I get slaughtered.
Well, I mean, like it kind of goes with this episode of Beverly Hills, because it was a very Sutton heavy, and Sutton's, father heavy too, which he kind of, so we can talk about it.
By the way, I wrote all these notes on Beverly Hills and I deleted it, and I was so effing mad.
How did you delete it? Like, where?
Because I wrote it on a different computer that's not my laptop. And then I cleared it out and I went back to go get it. And I was like, oh my God. So it's because I didn't do it on my laptop. And I'm like, I can't. Anyways, but I still like have things and stuff. What did you think about the episode?
Again, it's not my favorite, I guess, because like, her storyline to me, Sutton's and her mom, and it's so sad what she goes through, and it's sad what she is, but like, I don't know, it just didn't touch me like how like other storylines touch me, I think, and other like Housewives and stuff. Like, it didn't move me. And I don't know if I'm heartless for that, but it just didn't move me.
So for me, it wasn't really about moving. I feel like it was interesting, and I found it to be very interesting to see that, because I think so many people are in that situation with a parent who was raised a certain way, and that's just who they are. So I do find that to be interesting. What I think is crazy is how Sutton is scared to say something. Like when we talk about our moms, our parents have for sure been through trauma that we don't even know about. But like if our moms are doing or saying something, like we call them out. We're very
I know,
comfortable
but that's not but we never go to our mom and say, "Hey, I feel like you don't like are not proud of me." Like we don't do that. So I do actually think that what she
okay.
did was very like commendable and like crazy to do because like we don't sit there and go to our parents and be like, you're not proud of me. It's like weird.
If Chantal told her mom, "You're not proud of me," she'd be like, "Proud of what? What do
I
you do? What do you do? Tell me. You do nothing. You're annoying." Like that's what she would do. And if I told my mom that she's not proud of me, my mom would be like, "Are you proud of me? Are you proud that I had you?" And I'd be like, "Oh my gosh." Definitely not in that accent though. Back to the, all that. But that's actually true, Chantal, because we do call our mom out on things. Like if my mom says something off the wall, like I go off,
Yeah,
and
we're definitely not like timid to like to call them out, but then at the same time we don't have these like deep emotional,
yeah.
trauma healing moments where it's like, oh, like that's why you do that for because of me. Is that why you don't say like I love you 9 times a day like how Sutton did? I think that was like what was happening. And I think if anyone can take that and say like, you know what, maybe I can have these conversations with my mom. I think that is great to that's why Housewives is fun sometimes because it's like it opens your eyes to like having these conversations. Same thing with Mary and her son. Like a lot of people said, like it opened my eyes to have a different conversation with my kid about
Yeah.
like those topics.
Would you want to have those type of conversations?
No, I'm over it. Like it's like I'm healed here. I'm okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Like I have zero interest in that. Like
But I
zero.
think I understand it, and maybe some people don't. I don't know. I just think like it's okay. I understand it. Some people can't move on from things though. Some people have to hold on. I like to stay in the present though. I don't like to really always keep looking back.
Yeah. We were raised very much also to not have the victim mentality and focus on what we can control. So how can we do which is crazy that we all ended up like that. Because I don't know, maybe it was a good thing. I don't know. Maybe because even like after school, like we were figuring out most things on our own. I don't even know how Chantal like graduated college, to be honest, like, and always did well in school. I'll never understand.
Why? Because our parents are not there to help us. I feel like a lot of people don't have that though.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, you know what? You're right. Because that
But
is,
I think a lot of people are privileged enough to have like, someone who cares and helps and, gives them tutors and all these things. But like, I feel like a lot of people also like have there's a lot of stories that you have to work your way.
I feel like Garcelle and Kyle showed what loyal and great friends they are to Sutton. I'm glad that we were able to see that because they were there for her. And I liked that. I liked even seeing that with Kyle. They have respect. They understand. Even when Garcelle was having what did you think about the conversation that Garcelle was having with Reba?
Like I just think it's to me, like in general, like all the conversations, like Garcelle, even Kyle's, like she gives a different side to them, than she does to her own daughter. And I think sometimes that's unfair because it's like, you see Kyle, even though I'm like, I love your mom. Your mom's amazing. Like all these like things. And it's like, why can't she be like that to Sutton? But also it's like, it's not that it's not fair, it just sucks for Sutton, but like I know a lot of people go through that. Like even like you go through that. Like a lot of your friends say your mom's amazing,
Yeah.
but maybe you might not get that side sometimes. And it's just like that just happens.
And my mom is amazing. She is, but she's just very, sensitive. But like
I think for that though, it put my whole perspective of watching on this episode. It's like a mom and daughter's relationship is so different, like than like a mom and her friends and a mom and like all these other people. Like it really is just so like can be so sensitive and so many issues around it too.
it sounds like Sutton's mom, and it's so funny because you'll have these issues with your parents, but like Reba's living at Sutton's house, So it's so crazy. And I feel like that's kind of how we are, that we wouldn't,
Well, I think that's what I think that's where it comes to, where Sutton admits, like the biggest thing of this episode is like Sutton, like, and I want to know your take on this, is like she kind of says she has this resentment, okay? And I don't think it's because of the house thing, but it's resentment of she thinks, to me, this is how I took it. And I want to see how you guys took it, or like Roxanne took it. She has this resentment thinking that she could have helped her, like Reba could have helped her dad more and he didn't. And so like then he passed away, and she thinks that like the mom could have helped more, and like she has this resentment. She's like never said that out loud. Like, what did you think about that?
Well, what she specifically did say was like, she knew my father drank. She knew my father was on medication. She knew my father was depressed, and she knew there was a gun in the house. And knowing all that, I do have a little bit resentment because she felt like I took it as like she felt like her mom could do more and be more on top of him. And, you know,
you feel that way though.
What if I told you that eating healthy didn't have to mean meal prep, grocery shopping, or spending hours in the kitchen? That's exactly why I love Factor. They're fresh, never frozen meals are crafted by chefs and approved dietitians so you can enjoy delicious, nutritious food with zero effort. I'll be honest, before Factor, I used to struggle with making balanced meals. I'd either spend too much time cooking or end up grabbing something not the best or not that healthy just because it's quick. But Factor has completely changed that for me. Now I just open the fridge, heat up a meal in 2 minutes, and boom, gourmet, restaurant quality food that fits my goals. With over 40 menu options, including keto, protein plus, and calorie smart, sticking to a healthy routine has never been easier. And it's not just meals. Factor has amazing smoothies, snacks, and breakfast to keep you fueled all day. I just had the spicy turkey poblano bowl, and while it was packed with flavor, had the perfect amount of heat and spice. You guys know I love spicy food. And honestly, the best part, no chopping, no dishes, just great food and fast. So take the stress out of eating healthy. Go to factormeals.com/TRH50 off and use code TRH50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's TRH off at factormeals.com/TRH50 off for 50% off and free shipping on your first box.
Love, exciting and new. Hello, Hannah Waddingham here. Have you seen the fabulous new Sun Princess? World-class entertainment, exceptional dining, and the greatest pizza ever. It's
Don't miss our Come Aboard sale with up to 40% off and free room upgrades. Visit princess.com or call your travel advisor to book. Princess Cruises. Terms and restrictions apply. Offer ends 2/28/25. Ships at Bermudan and British Registry.
REI Co-op presents a mini mindfulness break. Take a deep breath in. Picture yourself on a mountain. As you hold your breath, look down at your skis, freshly waxed thanks to your REI membership, carving through powder like a knife to warm butter. Breathe out slowly. Let the air leave your lungs, like you'd leave your local co-op with all the gear, clothing, classes, and advice you could hope for. Make time to opt outside. REI.com.
No, I don't. I think
I don't either, you guys. Like, it's so not fair. Like, there's so many people around us. Like, everyone has a friend, a sister, a brother, a mom and dad that they just are like, they don't, as much as you want to help them and help them do something different, like, they are who they are. They are going to do what they want to do. There's nothing you could have done or someone could have done to stop that ever.
Yeah. And I agree completely with that. Like, you can try and help and you could keep trying and it doesn't, I don't know.
You guys, this is so silly, but my mom's, Rexia knows this, my mom's obsessed with chocolate milk, okay? Like, it's on another level. Like, she goes and gets half a gallon and drinks it probably like every day. My mom has diabetes. Like, she does not care that like that is a problem. And like, there's so many times that I spilled it down the sink. I've done so many things to have her stop doing it, and she doesn't care. So like what if she passes away now from, diabetes or something? Am I supposed to say, I could have done more? No, we try. We literally try.
That's what it is. You try, and it gets to a point where there's nothing left. There's nothing more.
Exactly.
And imagine Reba and living in that house with someone like that, who's supposed to be your husband, and they are supposed to be that. Obviously, he was going through it. I'm not taking away at all from him going through what he was going through, but we also have to look at her side of things.
I agree.
Yeah, we open up. And where were you, Sutton? I mean, like, you were also like busy, living your young life,
Oh yeah, for sure. And like, one thing I love about our like on our Patreon, you guys, we have these chats, and like a lot of our listeners will be text or like messaging each other as the days go on. And a lot of people kind of had the same, like, I was reading it, and like they kind of had the same take on us. Like they kind of felt that like it's unfair of Sutton to kind of put her experience, like her experience is not the same as her mom's experience. Like that was her husband. She was living in that house. Like it's so different. Like a husband and wife relationship is different than a daughter and a dad relationship, you know? So there's just so much that goes into it. And it's not fair to hold her to not wanting to relive that moment, not going to that house. Like you could tell she was so shook by that, like not wanting to go there. And like Son's like, okay, like maybe a little bit annoyed, but it's like, why would you want to put her back in that situation?
Right, like she found him. You hear about this stuff all the time too, where it's like the mom is, you know, the default parent a lot of the time, and they do so much. So like when they're around the house and they don't want to play like dad wants to play, like all the kids sees is their dad and how their dad played, and then they kind of resent their mom, and they're like, you weren't like that when we were younger. And it's like, dude, the mom was drained, you know, and so like my whole thing is like the way that she views her dad and probably views her mom is very similar, where that mom was going through stuff. Reba was going through stuff as a husband that, hey, I married you and I didn't think this was going to happen. I'm trying to help you. Maybe I'm not, I don't know, but I don't know. It really did. I could see her side. I could understand her a little bit more. I'm not going to lie.
Sutton or her mom?
No, I could understand her mom.
Yeah, no, for sure. I can too. You know, she explained like where she's a product of, you know, it's like generation after generation after generation. Like she said that she was born after World War II. Like, and I just read that book about World War II. It really was crazy. Like it was like the most saddest, depressing thing. Imagine, like, I can just only imagine how those people turned out. And like, it's Reba.
Yeah. It sounds like Sutton's mom had no idea that Sutton was coming to confront her, being upset about never feeling proud, by the way.
Yeah, but then that just goes to show, because she's not like, she doesn't go into her feelings.
Yeah, but my mom would beat my ass. If I had a camera crew and I was going there to confront how cold you are and like how you know, just kind of like expose like how I was affected from the childhood, or if I resented you and I did that on camera, I don't know. That's like a Middle Eastern thing or nothing. I don't know, where they go off and they're like, don't ever talk about me on camera like that shit again, you know? But yeah, and to like not know. We talked about how one time we were on a game show and how like we are very like upfront. We just like tell each other things. So I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, I kind of feel like the same vibe that you did. And I'm just glad that Garcelle and Kyle were there to support. And, you know, Kyle made a good point too. Kyle's like, you know, listen, at the end of the day, when it comes to the convo, her mom is 82. She's not going to change. So how are we moving forward? Like Kyle knows that. Kyle gets that. And that's how we think with our parents. After all these years, you're not going to change. So it is what it is at this point, you know?
It was really funny because at the end of the conversation, like Sutton goes and hugs her. And like, it looked like her mom was like, you know, maybe crying or going in more for the hug, but she was just like swatting away her hair. It's like, she did not care about the hug. She's like, okay, get your hair out of my face.
She reminds me of your mom.
I know. It's very funny.
Yeah. So Bose is ready to have a baby, we find out, but her and Boo Thing haven't even said, I love you. So at dinner, she tells Erica and Dorit this, and this is a little unhinged. I love my girl.
No, it's weird.
Yeah, I love her so much. I'm like, wait, Bose, you are so smart. She's incredibly intelligent. You know that's not smart to even be discussing this when you guys haven't said I love you. And then they kind of say, well, why don't you ask if they love you? And Erica's like, absolutely not. Absolutely. Chantal, how did you say I love you first?
I actually did, which is just so embarrassing. Just kidding.
So embarrassing. No, it is.
But I don't think it's that weird actually to say it first. I think if you're feeling it, you're feeling it. And if there's a moment's right. And if she's saying, I know we love each other, then it's okay. But like, if you feel like your guy is the type of person that you want to make sure like to feel comfortable, you want him to say it first. And I agree with her to wait it out.
Also be a man and say, I love you. Why am I even questioning this? If you want me, if you love me, if you want to have a baby with me, say I love you. Because I'm not trying to.
But sometimes, I mean, he seems like he would be the type to say that to her like right away and like fast, but he doesn't seem like someone that's a little bit more scared and shy. Like with my husband now, like he was always nervous. Like he was always weird. So I was like, dude, let me just say it. Like, let me just be the one to say it.
I was such a loser. I was so pathetic. I was like to my husband, I was like head over heels. I was like 20 years old. And I'm say one if you love me. Like, what a loser.
Okay, well, see, at least you were bringing it out. So like sometimes they need that. They need to lead up into the conversation.
Because 22-year-old ass is like, one. I'm like, okay. It was like outside his parents' house by the car. I'm like, oh my gosh. So yeah, I don't know. Then we find out that PK reached out to Dorit and then kind of acted like they were nothing but friends. And I just think men are bipolar. I do some. I also
this is why like it's a classic like don't tell all your friends everything because like if you're now like the way she was kind of like backpedaling, like they were like no, like no. And so like that's like where it gets scary because like there's so much pressure now at this point to follow what people are saying. It might not be something what you want. So like I was scared for her in that moment.
Chantal, keep in mind last week she did say that he was a bad dad and then she was being so harsh. Or she said he was being so harsh with her. So I feel like she was trying to clean his image out of guilt for doing that on camera. But this to me was when the annoying side of Dorit comes out that I remembered the last seasons where she gets so defensive and won't. And it's like, girl, like you just told us A, B, and C about him. Like, of course we're going to react this way. But like Chantal said, that's why it's like some of these things you don't do that. So yeah.
And it's gonna make Bose, especially her new friend, like she's like, listen, I was there for you, ride or die for you, and you're gonna just go back like right away that fast, like and not even think about it. That's like where she'll get annoyed.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, my kids. See, hello, Snow Day. Here you go. Okay, let someone hold. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. That is my children, you guys. Chantal's like, get those damn peasants away. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that she was being really defensive and I don't know. I think she was just trying to clean up the image. Back over at Sutton's, it did make me sad, Chantal, to know that Reba lives by herself at 82 years old. And even though she has that guy who...
Yeah, I was going to say, who's that guy that was there?
Yeah, she was scary to him a little bit.
And it seems like their brother lives in that area in the town. So she has that too, right? Like she has like family.
It's just so sad though, because it looks like she didn't get remarried. She seems like the type who's like my mom. Like my mom divorced, will never date again. And I guarantee she probably didn't. And
I know so many people that are like in their 80s and they live alone and they love it. It's like they feel so like so much independence.
You know why? Because my mom would be so depressed with that, where actually my mom lives alone right now. And
yeah, she likes it. Like they like their independence. And like
yeah,
I think
because my grandma switches off and my mom hates when my grandma comes to her house.
Okay, exactly. Like, and like that's the thing. It's like imagine if you're 85 and you're like, hey, I can do all these things by myself. Like I don't need my kids. Like you almost feel this like sense of like that. And so then you're like happy about it.
Yeah. So Chantal, you kind of touched on this, but Sutton and her mom finally talk. Her mom basically says she doesn't get why Sutton would ever feel that she isn't proud. And Sutton is like, well, you don't say it. And I had wrote, Chantal, does your mom say I love you? Do you get sad about that?
Huh?
Do you get sad?
No, but like, no, my mom does though. Like she does it in weird ways. Like she has like this nickname for me called Bear. And like randomly, like she'll be in her moods and she would want me to come like sit on her lap. Like you guys, even at 32 years old. Okay. Like there's like random times this is like very scary, but like she wants to like shower me. Like she just has like these weird ways of showing me that like she cares, but she does not say I love you that much.
Yeah. My mom wants me to say I love you every single day to her. Like that. It's so crazy how different our moms are.
Yeah.
Sutton's mom, Reba, says it's overused to just say I love you, which a little, okay, cold. But I did feel, again, sad for Reba at the end because she was like, I only know things with how I was raised. And, you know, she's like, I was a kid that when a baby's crying, you just drop them in a crib and you leave them. And I was like, dude, that's so sad.
So sad.
It's easy to get mad, but she obviously went through trauma. She wasn't told she was loved. So, you know, I don't know. I just felt really bad. And some people break it and some people don't. And I just feel like she was, you know, that generation, it is harder to break. Like, I feel like we will break a lot of those type of things.
Well, they say like it does take 2 generations to break things. It just depends. So like Sutton's one that broke it, you know, so she didn't want to do what her mom did and she broke it. Now her kids maybe will, you know, have a different way of raising their kids.
Yeah. But that's all for Beverly Hills. I found it to be an interesting episode, to be quite honest. But let's go into, because, you know, a lot of it is Dorit heavy, Chantal. So it's like, it is interesting, the Dorit stuff, but I don't know. It's a change of it. A lot people can maybe relate to, I guess.
Yeah,
so,
it was a good story. You know, it was a good, like, it's a good, you know, change of pace. And like, it was like, they really focused in on it in this episode. So like it told the whole thing, like from front to back.
Yeah. Summer House, what did we think?
Summer House. I mean, sometimes the first episodes are always just a little bit like, they're just trying to get their groove, but I don't know if I love the new additions, the 2 new girls. Yeah. I mean, it's the first episode, but Lexi was coming on strong.
Chantal called me. She was like, I didn't like it, whack.
No, I didn't say it like that. But
I like it.
One thing I do think it's nice, like, they are bringing in younger people, which I do think they need, because like it's all about Hamptons and partying, and like they all started at that age too. So like they do need to have some of that. Do you agree?
Yeah. Well, I wrote here, I was like, I wish that we, had a summer house growing up. And then I had said, do people truly in their mid 30s, 40s, do they have a summer house where they go without kids? Because I mean, obviously these people do, but it's because of this show. I couldn't imagine doing that now. Like, I don't even leave my house. Like, I could not imagine that.
I feel like if you're married, absolutely not. And if you do have a Hampton house, you're going with your family. It's like your house,
Yeah. I love, by the way, when they show us Sierra, they always put Sierra nurse/model. I don't think she's nursed since coming on the show.
No, I think she went back for a little bit.
Oh, did she? I didn't think
she did.
What do you think about Danielle not being back on Summer House?
I'm kind of sad about it. Like, I feel like she adds like this different, she adds a fun element. There was something like off. Like, there was something off about everyone's vibe to me. Like, it didn't feel like it clicked, in my opinion, so far.
So interesting. I don't mind Danielle not being on there. I find Danielle to be annoying. I'm sorry. Even though, oh wait, no, Chantal, you had defended Danielle when they were fighting. Yeah. I love how this was filmed after Sierra was on Traitors. And I love Sierra on Traitors. And we've talked about, I told you, Chantal, that something that's hard for people who've like declined being on the show was the phone situation. And then Sierra actually went into it and said, you are only allowed to be on the phone for 30 minutes every 6 days. And that's
no social media.
Yeah. So it's like,
she's like, I'm just responding to text for 30 minutes, basically.
She said that she like leaves them on red because she has to go through all of them. And then I'm sure probably calling her mom and whoever. So I don't know. But yeah, we meet Lexi and Bailey. And I can't believe Wes is 29 and Jesse's 31. We're older than both these people. I'm not used to watching people older than me. And I'm now at that phase where we are.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Like when we watch Real World and stuff, when we watch all that stuff, I mean, obviously it doesn't exist anymore. When we watch The Challenge, they're all older than us. So now, I mean, we're 32, but it's like, damn, these people are younger than us. And what's interesting was Lexi or Diana, what's her name, Diana?
Who?
Lexi and the other girl? Or no, Bailey. Lexi and Bailey were like 26, 27. Sierra was 28 at the time of this filming. So, I mean, Sierra's young.
Yeah, no, a lot of them came on really young and then they've grown with the show. So like, I do think it's like, it's okay if they're bringing younger people, but because like they do need like some people in the middle, some people older, some people younger. I mean, Kyle's the oldest. He's like 40 something.
41.
He's so old. Not like old, but like to like still be doing this, like it's crazy. Yeah.
When Lexi was saying her last name, so the new girl that Jesse is kind of showing some interest, she was like, my last name is Lexi Wood. And he asked, like, what's your middle name? She's like, Diane. And he's like, I thought it was Lexi Give Me Wood. Why does that stuff? Like, I am so at that phase in life where everything gives me the ick, but I'm like, that's not funny.
No, that would have given me the ick even if I was 20.
Yeah, I think so too. I swear to God, I'd be like, ew, like you're too much. Like you're very immature. And you know what? I feel like we're seeing a lot of a different side of Jesse this season.
He's way more confident. Both of them are. And like,
not Wes, but Jesse. Yeah.
Yeah. But Wes knows also like how to play, like where he knew he came off so good last season, where like he still tries to be up everyone's butt. Like where he's like, let me get the bags, like, or let me get the bags. Don't hold the chairs. Like he's doing things for like us to want to like him, but it's like, okay, be yourself, Wes.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like he lacks confidence a lot this season because he knows how bad he came across. So to him, he's walking on eggshells. And even the cast had said Wes came into it and he was way more reserved because he probably didn't want to trigger anybody. But Jesse, I'm like, ugh, you're giving me the ick. Your whole vibe is giving me the ick. I found you attractive and I just don't find him attractive at all after this episode.
The whole him and Lexi thing was just too much too soon for me, and it's just like, ugh.
I thought it was cute and funny, but it's like stupid jokes like that where it's like you're trying to sleep with her. Once you sleep with her, you'll be fine. And that's
Exactly.
literally
You're gonna be over it.
Sierra. So it's like, ugh. I died with Sierra snubbing West. Like she's still very hurt. West ended up giving me some Blake Lively vibes because he too orchestrated some BS with the New York Times, which is such a weird thing for you to go to the New York Times to talk about your side on Summer House. Like what?
Well, do you think Sierra has do you think what Sierra is doing is warranted? Like how she's made it seem like, well, like I think because of the articles, I do agree that like I'd be pissed too, but like it's like now it's like so awkward in the house. Like she's making it like she's so mad. It's like they didn't date for that long.
Here's the thing, Chantel. Sierra was really hurt. She was so hurt and she was very hesitant to start something with him. Like she's like, I don't want to give my body to someone. Like I want it to be serious. Her expectations were very clear. What she wanted out of them was very clear. Like he knew how she was feeling and he was like following her lead until he got what he actually wanted. And then he was like, how do you break up with someone? So she's hurt because I remember last season, she was taking things very slow because she's like, I want to make sure I'm doing this and it makes sense. Like basically she's at that point in her life. I'm dating to get married. Don't fuck with me if it's anything else.
Yeah, no, I agree then. Yeah,
And
that's a good point.
I love Gabby. I'm glad her and Lindsay are back. Gabby looks amazing. Her body. I mean, I did club Pilates. I didn't go often, but people say Pilates transforms your body. And it's not about weight, like the way it looks. Like you can tell that with her. And I'm like, what type of Pilates are like I did that club Pilates that has a what is it, whatever it's called?
Reformer. No, that is the Pilates that people do.
I don't know. Like I feel like people do like more one-on-one or boutique.
You should be very consistent though. Like she doesn't do it for 2 months. Like she's probably did it for a whole year. It takes a long time.
Yeah. I did think it was funny, by the way, when Sierra, Paige were in a room and Jesse was with them on the bed and he was being a gossip king. Like, I thought that was funny.
Yeah, because like, and they both know, like, you know, they're going to tell him stuff. So he's going to go back and tell Wes and like vice versa.
Yeah. And then they ask about if he thinks Lexi is cute. And he's like, she's cute, but ditzy. And I'm like, okay, did you get ditzy vibes from her?
Yeah.
Did you? Okay, but I mean, but I got ditzy vibes from Jesse. Like they're both playing that cutesy, like ditzy vibe. So I'm like, and how are you? Like you're ditzy.
Yeah, I don't think he's any better.
Right. That's why I was like, that's so weird that you would say that and call that out when you are acting ditzy this whole episode. I don't know, you guys. He pissed me off this episode. He did. So Lindsay and Gabby were coordinating a pregnancy announcement. And what did you?
Her speech that was 25 minutes long.
What did you say, Chantal?
I said with her speech that was 25 minutes long.
Yeah. What did you think about how she announced?
I thought that was crazy. Like at that point, you lost everyone. But like I asked you when you called me. I was like, "Hey, was this at the point where Dorinda did ruin the like she's the one that already like spilled the beans?" So at this point, they all knew. But
yeah, they all knew she was pregnant. She's also a very tiny person. I'm not saying that she barely looks pregnant, but I mean, first off, she was 18 weeks and she obviously is a very, very tiny frame. And you could tell she's wearing big shirts, things like that. And that she didn't go on Traders because Dorinda did say she was pregnant to everyone. Sierra ends up going on Traders. So clearly, like they all know low key she's pregnant and they're just waiting for her to announce it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I feel like it was a weird way to announce.
Very weird.
8 years. Like I dated this person. I dated that person. I dated this person. And I'm just like, okay, this was like not a cute way to announce at all. Like I would not
like
announce.
All you had to say was like, you know, everything happens in life for a reason. And I'm so happy this is what my reason was. And like, I'm finally feeling like I'm good. Guess what, guys? And then boom.
Yeah. What do you think about Jesse's reaction to Lindsay being pregnant? Like he's very immature though. Like I can't.
Very immature. Like again, like he really did piss me off too because like that is so rude. He's like a pregnant person in the house. Like who are you? This is your second summer.
I know. I can't believe she was pregnant at the reunion. So she was living her best life. I guarantee if she was not pregnant, she would have come out even guns blazing that reunion.
For sure.
Yeah. And then I'm dying at the fact that as soon as she told him, she immediately posted on Instagram.
And then like it was like all these like all these like sponsorships and you know.
Yeah. Well, she's an
brand deals.
I was dying at Sierra's timeline. She was questioning Lindsay, and it is a lot. Like I'm with Sierra here because we find out that the wedding was supposed to be November. September they end their relationship, or I think it was October, one of those. November was supposed to be the wedding. December, she starts dating this guy. She literally gets pregnant immediately. So
She gets
I
pregnant
mean,
like 6 weeks literally after starting dating this guy.
I'm sorry, like that's insane to me, and that's crazy. And I don't know. And I do think that Lindsay, I don't know. I don't want to say anything wrong about
Well,
that.
on Watch What Happens Live, she did say, like, they were asking, like, people thought that you guys were broken up, but he's here, he's backstage, but like he's a private guy. And she's like, yeah, she's like, I mean, because Andy was like, what's next for you guys? Basically, like, asking, like, are you guys gonna get married? And she's just like, we're just trying to figure out a relationship. Like, this did happen so soon. And she's like, just like any relationship, having a new baby is hard. So we're just trying to figure it out.
I believe 100% the rumors are true that they are not together.
He was there backstage though.
I don't even believe that he was there backstage.
Like,
I don't
met
know.
him.
Oh, Andy said he met him?
He's a nice guy.
Well, there was a part where like he's like, we heard you unfollowed him, and she had a dumbass excuse where she was like, well, he doesn't even use his Instagram. So like, I'm like, okay, you don't go and unfollow your boyfriend just because they don't use their Instagram. Okay, that you just wouldn't follow them to begin with. You unfollowed him, so they broke up. Maybe they're working on it now, but I don't know. I just think to knowingly bring a child into a relationship where you barely know each other. I mean, she knew him 3 years ago, but still, like, I don't know. It's just a disaster waiting to happen. 2 homes and whatever. And sometimes that's so necessary. But is it that ideal thing? No. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like Lindsay's going to bother me this season. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, for sure. She's like living her best life right now.
Which is fine. I don't think because of that. I just think she's very, I don't know how to explain it. She's obviously still very hurt and triggered by Carl. We're going to see that. And I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, I can't wait to see her. I think Carl has the, should come in and say like, you put me through all these. And like, I don't know. I just feel like they should have a really good conversation about it.
Even her with, Carl's about to come and she's like, in a bikini with all her like stomach showing. I don't know. Cause if roles were reversed and Carl was expecting, would we say something? I just always like to think that, but I know that Carl was the one who broke up with her at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it could be a little bit different. For the next episode, by the way, Jesse and Lexi are loving each other. So, I think that's like a cue. I thought it was cute. I didn't think it was annoying. I thought it was cute, but I think, by the way, Bailey's
like with Sierra and stuff.
I know on the previews, I saw that. I think Bailey, I don't get her. I don't think she'll make sense on the show.
She has to open up more. If she's gonna stay like very like in her shell, she's not gonna make it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get her. I don't know. I don't feel like I'll like mesh with her vibe. But anyways, so on the previews, we see that cameras were picked back up, and that when Craig and Paige did break up, that Paige ends up, Bravo pulls up her talking to Lindsay and her talking to Amanda and talking about her relationship. And she says that Craig is dead to her, that she never cheated on him. The fact that he isn't speaking up and defending that, he's absolutely dead to her. And I think we're finding out a little bit more when it comes to Craig and Paige's relationship. We find out that she's like, I caught him talking to 2 different women, which, I mean, here's the thing. You didn't end up breaking up with him then. So it could be one of those things where it's like, he's not innocent, which I get. But like, I totally get why Paige is, I feel bad for Craig because he was just so in love with her. But I think we're going to see truly on Summer House why it just didn't make sense. And she realized like, maybe this has gone too far and let me break up with him before we get married and get divorced. Would people rather her get married to him and get divorced? Like, she doesn't want kids. She doesn't want that. She made it clear. I'm sure there were times that she probably shouldn't have said stuff, but
yeah, I think that's the issue. It's just like, it's like, you knew 6 months ago, you knew 8 months ago, you probably knew like 9 months ago. And it's like, you knew what was there. And so even like, she made a comment like, oh, when like, she's like, when, Lindsay said I'm pregnant, like I was thinking like, thank God I'm not. Like at that moment, you should have known.
But she's always said that though. She's always spoke like that. She's always said like, I have no intent. I don't want to.
But exactly. And the partner you have now wants that so bad. So it's like, you should have just let him go. It's a little selfish of her.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm starting to see her side on it as well. And I get it. And
her side is just that like she's like got the ick of him, and it's like I don't want him as my partner anymore. That's it.
Yeah, and like she also posted something on, I think it was Instagram or something, where it's like something about like a guy giving you nothing, like he gives you nothing. And then she was like, live, learn. She posted something like that on her story. And I think with Craig, it was like she was constantly making him a better person. And he always says, you know, I give that all to Paige. Like I was the best version of myself. I don't feel like she felt like he was bringing that side to her. I felt like, you know, and she was seeing that the more they dated. And
he was trying to actually bring her down, like tell her not to work more, doesn't want all this. So like, I'm sure that was hard for her.
Yeah. And she honestly, when you think about it, is the breakout star of Bravo. Summer House never promotes her podcast. On the Real Housewives, I've seen them promote all their podcasts. She has a total, complete different fan base. I'm talking Taylor Swift fan base. I'm talking Beyonce fan base outside of Bravo. And she did all that. So, I mean,
well, her and Hannah.
Yeah, I mean, her and Hannah, but like that's a big deal. So I'm just saying, because she's on the Bravo show. Hannah hasn't been in a minute. So I don't know. I just think she is really excited about this. She knows what she wants. And he was kind of dragging her down where she's like, oh my gosh, you're at such a stage at your life that you want this. And it's giving me anxiety. And I think we're just going to see more of that, where it's going to totally make sense. They broke up. They gave it a month. It didn't mean that she wasn't going to move on. It's not to say I don't want a boyfriend. It's she made it clear I don't want you. And that happens. And you know what? Men do that shit all the time. They do. So men do that to women like it's their job. So, I mean,
well, we're definitely going to see a lot. So hopefully you guys don't get annoyed at this conversation, because we've been talking about it a lot and we're going to see it a lot too. So.
I think people are very invested in it. I will say, I don't like how Lindsay and Sierra were answering things at the reunion. I get that they're so loyal to Paige, but you can do that with
Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah. Did I say something else? Sorry.
You said reunion.
Oh yeah. Sorry. You could do that without putting them down. And Andy didn't seem to like it. He was very annoyed by them. He was like, all right, you know, because we have to give both sides grace in this, you know, and I just don't like how they're reacting to things, because when Austin does that, Paige loses her damn mind.
Exactly.
So that's the one thing I'm not going to agree with Paige with. I just can't. But everything else, I'm just like, you guys need to slow your roll. Like, this man is literally struggling, even though all the signs were in his face, but he was just so obsessed with this woman. And it was, you know, sometimes it doesn't work out when you do stuff like that, you guys.
And he wanted to prove it so bad to himself and other people that he had the rose-colored glasses on. That's it.
Yeah. So interesting stuff. As you guys know, next week I'm just kidding. But that's all that we have for this week. I am excited about Summer House. I know some of you have been starting from the beginning, so I'm excited to hear what you guys think. And if some of you guys were like, if I'm not on your Patreon, how can I comment on episodes? You can always go on our YouTube page and comment on episodes. Leave us a nice review, please. If there's feedback, just let us know, but leave 5 stars. Thank you guys for listening and all the support. We hope you guys have a great weekend. Bye, guys.
Bye.